And today, we're so thankful to have Lucas over here. Make some noise. I'll do a quick introduction. I'm sure some of you already know of him. If not, you've definitely seen his face. If you've ever been at space and you've been blasted with a smoke of CO2 air, he might be the guy that's pressing that button for that to happen sometimes. But he's an entrepreneur, creative, DJ, artist in Miami that's been in this industry for many, many years. And he's worked with great people, started Link Miami Rebels, as he's going to explain. I don't want to take too much from his speech, but a little context. He now works with the team that handles all of Club Space, Factory Town, and all of that group. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that if you're in the dance space. And he's just a really, really like community-driven person and super focused on building culture. And I think that's something that we resonate a lot with. So that's why we wanted to bring him in, get his perspective. I'll stop speaking now and let him speak. But everybody, please make a round of applause for him because we're going to learn some awesome stuff today. Yeah, come sit. Let's stand, yeah.
Hello. Whoa. Everybody's always said that I have like a MC radio voice because it's like so like, whoa. I call it raspy. But yeah. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Very grateful to even like find out about you guys and see the way that you're evolving this whole community outreach, which I feel like kind of disappeared after my winter music conference, the old school Miami WMC. The way that WMC transitioned to Miami Music Week, I feel like there was a little bit of a disconnection there between like the community and like the people that actually made it what it is. So it's really beautiful to see everything coming back to fruition and coming back to like source. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Makes another round of applause. We might have a lot tonight. So one of the reasons we really wanted to speak to you is because you didn't start working with the biggest venues. You didn't start working with the biggest names. You really started from the ground up, like many of these people in the room are starting right now. So if you want to talk to us a little bit about your beginnings, what it looked like when you were out there in the audience, starting out, and what kind of work you did back then.
Okay, so I feel like I'm still over there in the audience because there's so much to learn. And for me, like the process and the journey has been so revealing in a way that like I come in every day and every year as an evolution with questions, and I guess found with more questions that I ask myself because it's a ongoing journey in this industry, as many of you guys know. And backstory: I was raised in Dominican Republic. I moved here when I was 15. My mother moved us here. She took a leap of faith. It was like her and 3 kids, and she's like, I don't know if I can curse on this, but like, fuck it, let's do it. And I was very depressed during those last 2 years of high school because I didn't have any friends. Like I became like super shy, which wasn't in my nature. And when I got into college, I was able to get into FIU, South Campus here in Miami. Go Panthers. I like FIU Panthers, yes. For me, I haven't been able to like give the respect to FIU that I should be giving throughout these years because that was what like set everything in motion. I got into FIU. I didn't have the best grades, so I had to start at summer 2006. I was still 17, and I got into the college and I found this like fraternity, and I was like, okay, I was raised in Dominican Republic as a Latino boy, and I would see all these American films, and they're like all the college parties and frat parties. So I was like, oh, why not? Let's shoot the shot. And I joined a fraternity, and it's, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell my story, but like, your story is your own personal story. There's no right or wrong way. For me, I think it's like a very like random and weird way that not many people get to this industry through. And it was through the source of community in a fraternity. And when I got into the fraternity, it was my big brother was Coloma, founder of Link Miami Rebels, and then my pledge brothers, the guys that rushed with me, was Thunder Pony, which is one of the club space resident, and Jay, which is the GM and manager at the club space door. So at the end of the day, you have to really see who is with you in this process, in this journey, and like the people that are by your side are basically doing what you can't do. Everybody has their own skill set, and if you don't partner up and if you don't really like connect with the people that you're next to, it's not going to work out. If everybody has a set goal and the set goal is identical, that's when you really know that magic will happen. And we didn't know magic will happen. We were just throwing parties at college kids. We rented like a little apartment across the street from FIU. We started throwing keg stand parties, like keggers. And now you're actual, like nobody in the electronic scene, I think, has done like keg stands to start their journey. But I guess we did it in a way that it was in Doral. If anybody knows here in Miami, FIU South Campus is in Doral, is in Miami. And Miami people. So, La Covacha, yeah, I'm gonna talk about this right now. People didn't listen to the electronic music that we adore and love, and still to this day, which is what I call the golden days of deep house. And it's like, for me, it was an awakening to feel that music. And in Miami, people are like, "Oh, your music sucks. You're never gonna make it. This is terrible music." So we took over a little bar in Doral called La Covacha, and we renamed it Cove Love on Thursdays. And Coloma, Jay, Thunder Pony, and a few friends from college were just running the whole ship. I was bartending, Jay and Coloma were at the door. We had like 3 other side jobs to pay for tuition and pay for the parties that were losing a lot of money. So we're like cleaning fish tanks, working at Quiznos. That was my first job. I was making sandwiches at Quiznos. I can never smell that ever again. So, but yeah, besides that, at the end of the day, you just have to like pour your soul and your heart out. And we were throwing these parties and nobody understood our music. So we would put it on the small room. It was called the patio, like the deep house patio. And in the main room, we had like open format to bring in people and kind of educate them. So anything that you do in life, you always have to see how people are feeling outside of what you're thinking that is like cool and you're creating, and really understanding the crowd and kind of like showing them the way into like beautiful music. You can't just be like, "This is the best music in the world, you suck." It's like that they're gonna be like, "Yeah, no, we're not gonna even step into the club." So yeah, it was just a very like long journey of seeing like what works and what doesn't. And at the end of the day, if you stick true to your sound, which is mainly the whole idea of the nature that we always talk about, stick to your sound and your friends, then you actually have something very magic to offer the world and offer the community.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the words. Yeah. So I like that you said that you were introducing a new sound, you were teaching people about this new culture. And I was wondering, to this day, this sound has evolved so much, and it's a lot of people now could say it has even become mainstream in some sort of way, so it's become extremely popular. So right now, what would you say is the new underground, or what culture, what kind of style right now you would say is where house was back in the day when you were starting out, so that maybe some people can, figured out where to go.
Asking the crazy questions. So at the end of the day, it's crazy because like we're already, I'm talking 12 to 15 years ago from that scenario. And now we have this like gigantic club, that best club in the world, I would say. It's not me saying, it's other people. But also you have to be your number one fan. So I've learned that from a lot of people. I've always like, but at the end of the day, yeah. So you have this big platform, you have the terrace. The terrace has like the sound that is hitting right now, like UKG, tech house, hard techno, like all that stuff, that's like top of the level food chain at the moment, which is okay to say, it's like they earned their spot. Like all these genres 10 years ago, nobody liked them. And the people that liked them were fighting hard for them to be this. And now that they're this, everybody's like, "Oh no, they're mainstream." No, they fucking put the work and they did what they had to do. So how do you how do you find new sounds? How do you embrace new sounds? For me, because of my wife, Cole Knight, I've learned a different sound that I'm really into right now, and it's like a little bit of that fast house, kind of like bringing back the roots of trance, like fast house trance situation. That is a lot heavy in the Netherlands. All these guys like Kyle and Lammer and all these guys, they're playing that sound. Bashka and DJ Gigola and like all these people, you know, they're bringing this sound. And the way that we feed that, the way that we show Miami that sound is through The Ground, which is a beautiful venue that every night has impeccable, crazy lineups that a lot of people don't even know any of the artists. And Floyd for me, I feel like it's like the growing baseline of what the next sound is. Any person, any artist that you see at Floyd in a few years, for some reason, they're like the new hot shit in the world, you know? Like a lot of kids have started at Floyd that nobody knew them before. And to see, that's a very heart shaking sound. Yeah, but yeah, to see like at the end of the day, the new sound is basically the people that really stick to their sound. It's something that I'll never forget. I was in Tampa a year ago, and Cole was opening for Hernan Cattaneo. And it was weird for Cole to open for Hernan because they're completely night to day sounds, you know? And Hernan came up to her in the green room and he's like, I actually loved your opening set. I thought Hernan was gonna find it like fast and crazy and hard for his style. And he's like, I love the way that you open because that reminded me of when I was a kid and I would never change my sound no matter for who it was. And it's like, it's not a matter of like you opening the room perfectly, but like not giving away your soul because you have to make some people happy. Like at the end of the day, like your sound is your sound. If you want to create a sound that is unique, you have to fucking stick to it. No matter what anybody tells you, the more people that tell you that you're wrong, it means that you're right. And that's it. That's how you create the next sound.
I love that, and the audience clearly did too. So a question that I've been waiting to ask you, because I chose you, I wanted you to come specifically because I feel you're very connected to successful superstar artists that started many different ways and are now in the stratosphere of the industry. But you stay really connected to the roots with your event at Floyd, and you're always supporting local artists, local DJs. And I want to talk a little bit about that bridge. So what do you think is the difference between those local artists that are able to make that jump, right? Like you were saying, from Floyd to the Terrace, and become, make the international jump, they get that recognition, build their careers, versus maybe local artists that are talented but are feeling stuck and not getting those opportunities?
So what I've noticed living with an artist that is my wife and seeing her journey as a starting artist, and which I feel like I was a bit oblivious to at the moment. It was the same way that it goes to being a promoter and being somebody that's creating culture and creating a really good fucking party for everybody to come to. As an artist, you have to surround yourself by people that believe in your art, believe in your work, and actually have the time for you. So if you have an agent, if you get yourself an agent, it's the biggest agent in the world, but they have 1 million other artists, they're not gonna be a good first agent for you to have as an artist. Your first artist agent has to be a random person that really believes in you, that has stuck by your side through thick and thin. And then your manager comes in as also somebody that really believes in your sound. Because if you don't have a team behind you, it's never gonna work out. At the end of the day, community, micro community of being a tight team when it comes to being an artist is the main thing. And then when you finally get the recognition, when you finally start releasing a bunch of EPs and like you have a shit ton of music that you don't even know what to do with it, that's when you get yourself like top of the line agent and manager. But if the people that are there with you at the beginning are not in it, you're never gonna make it. So it's all core. It's all core. Yeah.
You just gave us the best clip for TikTok right there. So, like, literally perfect. I was like, make that note. So, another thing that by talking to different people in this industry here in the community, we have a mix of people that work in the industry and artists. So it's great to talk to both and get perspective. I noticed that oftentimes building a career, an artist may think something matters when it doesn't really actually matter. Focus on certain things that don't actually maybe help them. So, well, what's your take on that? Like, I would love to know from your perspective outside looking in, what actually matters for an artist? And you've mentioned some of the topics versus what they might think actually matters. You know, might be the numbers, maybe it's branding versus music, that whole kind of like concept.
That's a big one to unpack. I think that right now, because we're in the era of social media, it's funny because I just had an interview with DJ Tennis, master, legend. I just had an interview with him 2 weeks ago when he was playing the terrace, and one of my questions to him was like, how does social media affect electronic music? And how does it, for me, my question was kind of negative because I already came in like talking shit about social media. I was like, how does social media like kill the mystery behind electronic music? And he put me in my place. He was like, no, first of all, like it does kind of kill some of the mystery, but you have to use it to a certain extent. Like you have social media, like we should be grateful that to live in an era that even the smallest DJ that doesn't even know two people, if they are very talented and they post something online and somebody sees it, they can be the next superstar. That couldn't happen 10, 20 years ago whatsoever. So there are a lot more opportunities. And for me and for like, not for me as an artist, but for me seeing how artists deal with social media, it hurts because you have to split yourself into like, I'm a producer, I am a badass DJ, but I also have to like post every day. And a lot of DJs, it hurts them, it hurts their soul. So like, well, they go into bankruptcy or they go into debt because they have to hire a team. So I think at the beginning of the day, you just have to be like very authentic online and use your Instagram and your TikTok as like super authentic thing. Like if you're producing, man, just record yourself producing in the studio. That's how Carnage, aka Gordo, that's how he became who he is. Gordo, which was Carnage back in the days, he was in a lot of people hate on him, but the guy works more than many people that I know. And he became known because during the MySpace era, he was posting videos on, well, as a kid, he was like 15, 16 years old in MySpace. He was showing people how to produce. He was an insane producer and he got crazy traction. So like if you hate social media and all that shit, you just go and like record yourself producing and being a badass producer, recording yourself being a really cool technical DJ. And at the end of the day, somebody's gonna see it and use that for your advantage. Don't think of social media as something like I've been thinking about it sometimes like, oh, it's like it kills your soul and it drains your energy. It could do that if you look at it the other way. But at the end of the day, it's all about perspective. It's all about mindset. If you really want something, you do everything for it. And why not do social media because you love music? So yeah.
I love that because I came across a quote the other day that said, don't work to make content while you work, make content of you working. And then that comes out a lot more genuine. So that quote reminded me of what you said. In this room, we do a lot of networking. So a lot of people will maybe come alone or with a few friends and meet a lot of new people. And you've obviously worked with a lot of people. So maybe you can tell us what's something that really throws you off and that would really like be something that would throw you off about working with somebody. Like some advice in networking, some advice in going up to somebody that maybe you don't know and connecting with them. And on the negative side, what would be something that would throw you off?
I don't know. It's a weird one. It's I feel like when I kind of like, for me, I've always been a person that like works and lives off of instinct. I don't have things planned out or like master plan. I don't really like sit down and like make a journal list of what I have to accomplish to be amazing or great. I'm like, I feel like I'm still like trying to figure that out. And I just detect people by the way that approach me and the way that I approach them. If I'm having a beautiful conversation with you and we're just talking about life and dreams and music, then it's like, okay, I love this person. But if they just like out of nowhere just meeting you 5 minutes, like, yo, I gotta send you some tracks. I'm like, oh damn. I'm like, here we go. Which it's crazy because on Instagram, like anytime that people send me music, I'll listen to it because I just love to listen to music. But it's also like, it's not a way to approach people. Like establish a relationship. Because at the end of the day, your own, like for me, like people are like, oh, don't work with your best friends, don't work with your friends. Yes, work with your friends. Like that is the people that you should be trusting in your life journey. Because at the end of the day, this isn't something that we want. It's funny because people are like, oh, this is a passion project of mine. You know when people say that? And I caught myself saying it one time. I'm like, wait, no, if something isn't a passion project, then you shouldn't, why are you doing it? Then it means that you're just in there for the money. So like everything should be a passion project. And that's how it should feel when you meet somebody. It should feel like that's that mutual relationship into your own goals and dreams and how you can fuse those together.
And do you feel like the music industry in Miami, for example, adopts that mindset? Or are you constantly battling with people in your space, coworkers, or whoever that be, clients, that are maybe not adopting that mindset and are there for the money or maybe not that community focused? And how do you deal with that?
I feel like, yes, like 50-50. And it happens in every situation and every artistic form as it is to like painting and being, just like in all the arts, there's always something, you know? And if you're like, oh, you're an amazing clothing designer, that you're in there for the love of the clothing and creating something new, but there's always that one person that's like, let's make a bunch of money. And and it's hard to escape it, but you just have to put people on check. And you can't be afraid of saying what you mean. And if you want to follow your path and somebody's like money hungry, you'll be like, yo, chill. Like, this is not it, and this is not gonna work out. Because if you try to take that person's energy, and even though they say, oh, I have investors for you that will like make you the best in the world, and at the end of the day, you'll notice it will not make you the best in the world at all. Yeah.
So I wanted to dive specifically on something that you had talked about, because I know that's something also that when I hear you on your captions speak, you are very passionate about, and that is people staying true to their direction and true to their sound versus chasing trends. Is there a way to maybe find a balance between both? What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's just trying to get that recognition? Oftentimes, as an artist myself, we have conversations all the time. We're battling algorithms, so it's just maybe staying true to your sound. These algorithms are not even pushing you to the right people. So how do you balance that disconnect between what's working and what you would like to be known for?
I think there's not really a disconnect. It's like, are you working to get recognized, or are you working because you love what you're doing? And I've noticed, seeing the people that come through our dance floors, it's like the artists that are putting in the work because they love it and they're just like super grateful to DJ and have fun. Like I've seen like kids DJing at Floyd and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. This is like the dream of my life. And they're not even thinking about the terrace. And because they're so grateful, because they're so present, it sounds woo-woo, but like something happens. And that is what catapults you to becoming an artist that is recognized worldwide. To have that, like, to be a child, to be playful with your sound, to be super joyous and grateful. At the end of the day, that is what wins. And it's like, and it could take 10 years, it could take 15 years. Some people somehow do it in a few years, but it's just like, there's luck in between and there's faith. And I could keep going on about the whole woo-woo scenario that is in between electronic music. And that's really it.
All right. So we're gonna do another question, and then we're gonna have 3 questions from the audience. So I guess it's gonna be like first come, first served. Just come in front and raise your hand. I'm gonna give the mic to 3 people. If you have a question right now, just come to the front. Think about it. I'm gonna ask one last question, and we'll do that. But Lucas, a more lighter question. Miami Music Week coming up. A lot of events. Give us some recs. Where's the fire? Maybe some of the biggest headliners might not necessarily be the best parties. So give us some recommendations of what excites you the most for this week coming up.
For me, my excitement mostly comes, it's because I'm very biased to this sound, is finally having Ricardo Villalobos back at the Terrace. And him with Maher Daniel. Like, Maher Daniel for me is one of the best musicians in our electronic music scene. This guy knows music. He will, like, you play a track for him, he knows exactly the year it was made and who made it. And I am very excited to see that sound again at the Terrace, because it's very hard to feel that like hardcore minimal. And besides that, like Juicy Romance, Party Boy 69, all like the really grungy sound playing at Factory Town in the smaller stages. But besides my parties, I've been so focused on work and like dealing with like 25 parties that we're throwing this week that I really don't know everything else that's out there. And maybe you tell me some good recs and then I'll go to them this week, because I would love to escape my parties to actually go and like rave without dealing with anything.
I'm really excited about my own parties. Low-key plug. No, I'm joking. But yeah. Anyway, so if you guys have any questions, quickly raise your hand, and I'm gonna give the mic to some people. And you can talk to Lucas. I know you guys are excited to network. With just a few more minutes, we have Lucas here, and we're gonna get back to networking.
Thank you, man. Lucas, can you tell us about Duality is Reality? Can you tell us about Duality is Reality? Thank you.
So Duality is Reality is something that I found through my wife 3.5 years ago. It is basically another side of sound and another side of frequency and vibration, which is sound meditation with overtone instruments. And she was able to teach me a lot, to playing 15 to 20 different sound instruments that we've been like practicing for many years now. And I was able to sit with this guru. His name is David Shemesh, and he basically takes about 20 to 40 people a year, and he puts them in a cabin in the woods and gives you all the knowledge that he's accumulated throughout his lifetime on how to be able to be present with your body, how to use sound and frequency to become present with your body, disconnect the brain, and really feel yourself. Because in this fast-paced environment that we live in the electronic music scene in Miami, we forget to like take care of ourselves. We forget to even like acknowledge what's going on with our bodies. Like, we had somebody that didn't even know how to turn off their phones in one of the sound meditations. They're like, I've never done this before. So it was shocking to see. But Duality Reality is basically, how do you come back to your most authentic self? How do you shed off layers that people in society try to make you tougher and smarter and more hardcore? It's like, how do I come back to my most basic self? And basic being a beautiful word, not the word that like we use it nowadays. Basic being like, this is me, this is who I really am. This is how I am in tune with sound and vibrations. So we do like 6-hour sound meditations once a month in Miami, and we explore what it is to become more authentic and how it is to become more of a human, basically. which we forget. But also the dance, after being able to like study this work, I noticed that the dance floor is a ceremony. And if you go into the dance floor with a positive attitude, you can find yourself and you can discover parts of yourself that you've never even like let the surface know about. And yeah, so we just got to keep doing the work. And if anybody has any interest into how to dive more into meditation and practices, I'm all open to share the few things that I know.
We're running a little tight on time, so we'll do one more question. But Lucas, either way, is gonna stay here. Maybe even DJ a little. He had mentioned maybe, and yeah, and he's also gonna stay here and talk to some of you guys, so you can approach him as well.
I wanted to ask a two-part question. So first of all, what is one of your favorite current music industry trends? And also, what is the best way to find a balance with AI while also keeping it real, just during modern times and, you know, with an ever-changing business?
You lost me at modern trends. I'm like, wait, I don't think I've ever even like thought of trends as trends. It's something that I can't really dive into because I just don't like what, like an online trend that people do or something, or yeah, I don't know. That's a question. Well, I lost. Yeah, I can't say anything about trends. For AI, use AI wisely. Use it to build yourself your calendar and make yourself more accountable to like, oh, I need to do this and this. AI is a platform that can help me for that. Don't use AI to make music. That's the last mic drop. If you're using AI to make music, everybody knows that it's AI music and it's terrible.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it. Now let's have a good time. Let's party.
Yeah, make a round of applause, please, for Lucas. He's staying here for a little bit with the community, playing some music and talking to you guys. So feel free to approach and ask him any more questions.